Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben, and this is 3T's Mobile Automotive Repair. Today is April 3rd. It is Thursday, but my Friday. We are now a 4-day-a-week company, and we are loving it. So, this ride along today, I don't remember how many jobs I have at the moment because I'm driving, but I do have to say our first job of the day did cancel on us. It happens. It's just the name of the game. It's the nature of the beast. It happens to the shops. It happens to us. No big deal. We just move on from it. So we sent a message back to that customer telling them we are very sorry. We hope everything is okay. If you need us in the future, please feel free to reach out and we'll be glad to take you back on. So we had to send a message to our second customer of the day, letting them know that we're going to be to them much sooner. No big deal. They're fine with that. So I need to get gas. We're here at the gas station, and then I got to go to O'Reilly's and pick up some parts that I need for a car that's getting dropped off today and a job later on today. So, outside of that, let's get going with this ride along, all right? All right, everything's picked up. We're on our way to the Alternator. It's on a Dodge Ram pickup truck. This is actually the Ram that you recently saw me do the fuel pump, where we had to lift the bed. I've done a ton of other work to this truck over the past few years. All right, we're at the Dodge. I'm gonna go get this alternator taken out. We're done. Dodge is done. It's working fine. 14.4. I'm gonna let it run for a bit. And then I'm gonna check on the bearing, make sure this one's nice and quiet and that it doesn't have any other issues. And then we're gonna get out of here and get on to the next job.
Hey, man.
Hey, Steve. I got an alternator from you guys last week. I just finished the install, and it's got a very loud harmonic noise to it. So I left it on the car because I needed to, because the other one didn't work, but I got to get another one ordered so I can get it warranted.
Let me see what they got here.
I believe the one I had gotten was 11.233.
11.233. Let me check. I'll check here. Yeah, I'll just get one from Bellevue. I'll have it here by 1:30 anyways.
Okay, so we missed the other truck?
Yeah, the other one came in this morning. Oh, wait.
No, there's supposed to be one at about 11:30 because I got a starter coming from them also.
Okay, yeah, so that one, that'll be on the second truck, yeah.
Okay, cool.
The first one already came early, so yeah, it'll be here in the second one, yep.
Outstanding. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, no problem.
Bye.
Thanks.
Okay, so if you didn't catch it from that phone call, the alternator I put on has a noise. Bit me in the butt. But what are you going to do? Sometimes parts just suck. But this alternator works, and there's no bearing noise. But it has this weird harmonic noise to it. I don't know why or where I know it's coming from the alternator. That's pretty obvious. But this is just the name of the game. So I try, if you don't know from my past videos, I try to push new parts all the time. And if I am going to push a new part, it has to be a part that I know and I trust, right? So dealer did not have a new part. All the part stores here in town did not have a new part. It was all remanufactured. I only found one new part from a company I know nothing about, which was on Tasca Auto Parts, which I use them for like dealer style parts. Excuse me. But the company was like B Pro Auto that was selling one, and it was new, but it was cheaper than the remanufactured one that I did purchase. I don't trust it, especially because it's online. Even though it's a reputable online store, I don't want to deal with the warranty on that. I'd rather this, right? So I have to choose my battles to pick here. And I chose to deal with this battle, which was, okay, we can only get remanufactured. There is nothing new that I know of and trust. There's no OEM new, and there's no in-town new. We're going to have to go remanufactured on this. And I advised the customer on that and told them this is the only option we have for you because I'm not dealing with these online companies. So we went with this, and of course it bit me in the ass anyway. but not in such a bad way. It's not going to be a problem. We just ordered a new one, and we'll have it, and we'll come over here next week. He's a really good customer, so I don't mind jumping through the hoops to help him. And we'll file a warranty claim for our labor, and that'll be it. We'll get the job back together and hope there's no more harmonic noise. Let's get on to our next job. Wild how things happen in pairs. This one, it's got a noise. It's not why I'm here, but the noise is the alternator, and the other vehicle is the alternator. The other day I had two vehicles that were fuses right back to back. All right, let's check this AC. All right, there's nothing in that thing. We need to look at it. Put a black light, see what we got. I put dye in it when we did the job, whenever I did the job. So we're gonna check this again. You hold that. Hey, I wanted to take a quick minute and ask you guys for a favor. If you're watching this on YouTube and you like what we're doing, could you do me a favor? Hit that Linktree link in the bottom. It'll take you to all of my other social medias. So if you enjoy the stuff we're putting out, go follow me on TikTok, especially that one. We're trying to grow more on TikTok. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I don't post there as much, but maybe in the future we will. But really, really appreciate everybody that is watching and has liked, subscribed, and commented on all of our videos. We truly do appreciate it. So go on over to TikTok and give us a follow. We do try to put more short form content videos out on TikTok because that's what it's for. So if you want to see some of that stuff, head on over there and see what we got going on. I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of the video. All right, so that is going to turn out to be a warranty job. So that is no pay on it today. And this goes back to literally what I was just talking about in the truck. Back in the day when I first started getting 100% like really busy and I was learning where to buy my parts, I bought this compressor from O'Reilly's. It was not the typical brand I use all the time. This is a Murray. I typically only buy now GPD or Four Seasons and stuff like that. So this is another one of those things where you learn over the time on quality parts that you can trust. This one here, it only lasted 1.5 years and it's already the front seal's leaking on it. So yeah, could it just be a basic failure? Of course it could be. But we're gonna have to get it warranted for her. We bought it, we supplied it, and we're gonna have to deal with it. All right, I'm standing in the side of my truck. I'm about to do a quick battery test on this battery I have sitting here because it's for our next job. Let's see, cold cranking amps are 500. Yep, power too low, charge and retest, 7.4 volts. So I'm doing that real quick because the next job I'm headed to was a parasitic draw on a Honda Civic or a Accord or something like that. So I took this battery with me the other day to charge it at my house. I charged it overnight once and then let it sit for a day, and then I charged it again overnight because I wanted to make sure once it was fully charged, could it hold a charge overnight? It can't. After I charge it for about 2 hours, it has a full charge-ish, right? You can do a load test on it, and it's kind of like recharge and retest type of scenario. So I was like, all right, it just needs a longer charge. So I did a longer charge the second time. I think it was like 4 or 5 hours that I did it. And still the same thing, charge and retest. I'm like, all right, I told the customer this thing might not be okay. We may need to get a new battery before we can even think about testing your vehicle. So I wanted to double check the battery because I took it off the charger this morning and put it in the truck, and it's only, I don't know how to tell time, it's 10:15 and the battery's dead. So this thing's got dead cell in it or something. It cannot accept a charge and hold a charge long enough. So again, that's a job I had on my list today that I'm now not going to do or get paid for yet because they need to go get a battery and warranty it out themselves. It's not up to me to warranty it out. It's their battery. And go from there. So no big deal. But again, these are things that can get mishapped throughout the day or throughout the week, and things change. Today is a very good explanation of that. Things are not going the way I wanted them to go today, but it is what it is. You can't change it. Shit happens with cars. Now, maybe this Honda one could have been different, but maybe not. I mean, who knows? It doesn't really matter. Either way, it is what it is. A couple of warranty jobs, and now this one here, the battery does not take a charge. I ain't worried about it. We'll move on. I got enough stuff at home to float us all the way through this week and make the money we need to. But again, this is just the nature of the beast. You guys got to understand that if this is what you want to do, you're going to run into problems, and there's no real answer for it. You can ask me questions till you're blue in the face, and I can give you a bunch of answers, but every problem has its own solution, and you kind of just have to roll with it as the day goes on. So now we're headed off to our 5th and 6th job for the day, which is at the same house. One is an expedition. It needs heater hoses, which is going to be a little bit different because the rear metal lines are leaking. It wore through on the frame down in the front. The customer did opt to not fix that because it's a long line throughout the entire truck. But so what we did is we got the heater hoses for the F-150. That way it'll bypass the rear without having to cut hoses and put pieces in between and put hose clamps on and make it look real dodgy and stupid. We're not doing that. So we're gonna put those new hoses on, and I'll show you those once I do it. And the second job there is something I really don't ever work on, which is a 6.0 diesel. Now, we're only doing this because it's the same family, and we're just replacing the vacuum pump that's under the hood that controls the AC. They had it done by a family friend at one point, and they put one in from Amazon. Okay, that's not good. You can smack the pump and it comes to life. They said when they had it replaced, it worked for about 2 blocks and then it quit immediately. So we got a better one here. We're gonna get that installed, and we have to fix the vacuum lines because the other guy, for some reason, bypassed the vacuum chamber. So I'm assuming the vacuum chamber might have a leak. I don't know because I didn't have a good pump in order to put some vacuum on it. So we told them there is the possibility we will need that, which is only available from the dealer. It is not available in the aftermarket world that I have found to be good quality. So they are aware that we may have to do that. But the key thing here is they called me last night and he asked if I would put a water pump on that same Dodge because it started leaking on his way home and the pulley started getting loose. We were already coming out to put a belt on it, but now we added the water pump in. And I'll tell you, the only reason why I really agreed to it is because they call it a fan stator. It's this big black cage assembly that goes around the fan on the front of those diesels. That's not in there anymore. For some reason, they took it out. I don't know why, not my concern. I agreed to the job because I don't have to deal with it. I hate dealing with that stupid thing on those trucks. I hate diesel so much. But I'm glad he called because that job helps us keep the revenue up from the couple of jobs we lost today. So a good way to show you the things that we deal with and that we have to deal with on the fly as we're going through our day. So we're gonna go take care of those. Outside of that, here's another phone call, but I got an oil change afterwards. So let's take the phone call. All right, so check it out. So this one right here is leaking right where it was hitting that front upper control arm bracket. Looks like it just got bent down at some point and started leaking. And obviously it's been broke at one point before. So this one here goes straight to the back and comes around to the front. and then this one hooks back there, and it'll come around and go back in this way. So we're gonna get rid of all of this Y stuff. All right, hoses are in. That's it. So these are down here, and they're now blocked off. So we got to get this thing full of coolant, and then we can go deal with that one. Well, that was easy. All right, I gotta go tear that apart. That's running over there, topping off the fluid. I'm gonna get this torn apart. Once I'm done, I'll bring you back. All right, here's the old one. Alrighty, expedition done. No leaks. Everything's in there good. Full of coolant, everything's done. Actually, I need to clean that off. I need to clean that off. This is done. This is the pump that I just took out. You can feel the difference in it compared to the other one I put in. And the other one, even that, it was only a Dorman. It wasn't anything outrageous. So we're just gonna turn key on first. See if we can get that pump to go, which I hear it running right now. Yep, pump's running. So we're gonna let that run and see if it can shut itself down the way it needs to, and make sure that this tank holds vacuum. If it does not, we'll let them know, like I mentioned earlier. But in the meantime, I'm gonna start getting it full of coolant so we can get on out of here and get to our last job. So I just wanted to show you how this system works. So right here, oh, see, pump just came on. Right here is your expansion tank, and it typically has a check valve built in. So right now, the way this works, right, the pump's not running, but as soon as I undo this, the pump runs, right? It'll only shut off when it doesn't need vacuum anymore. So all we did was just put it here and then plug it, and it will not pull a vacuum on this tank. I let it sit for a while. So it's got a leak in it, and the check valve's probably no good. So if I hook it to my system, there you go, it shuts down because it can pull a vacuum. I had found this gray hose here, which is broken off to nothing because the heater control valve used to be there and it's gone. So I found this and plugged this. We will need to get a new expansion tank so we don't hurt the pump. It needs to be able to work correctly. I can tell you right now, fucking summer's here, man. It's 93 degrees out, and like an idiot, I bought a black truck. This thing's hot in here, but I need to get these windows tinted. They're too open. Man, it's too hot. Anyway, I just finished up the oil change. I didn't bother bringing the camera out because it was just hot and I didn't feel like dealing. Okay, well, I just got cut off on the phone part here. As I was saying, it was too hot. This phone that I'm recording on, because I left it in the truck, literally just shut off and said temperature too high. It needs to cool down before the phone will turn back on. So I had to take the case off and hold it in front of the air vent to get it to freaking cool down so I could use it. But anyway, day is done, kind of. It's 1:50. I'm headed back to my house. I will be in the office later today. I have that Ford Escape that I'm working on. I put the alternator and everything in yesterday, and I got to deal with the wiring from the alternator to the battery. So I got to do all that, get it back running. I'm gonna finish that before I call it quits for the day and get back in the office. So the one thing I did not show you guys yet today was my socks. Check these out today. Those are Raphael from TMT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I tried to relive my youth as much as I can. So I've got tons of different themes of socks. So I'm going to try to show you guys those any chance I get as I'm working throughout the day, just to annoy some of you because it's fun and because I like it. But anyway, we're done for the day. I'm going inside. All right, we're back. I'm in the office. I just got done dealing with my estimates and everything that I needed to do for today. I'm going to get into my end of day here so we can go take a look at some numbers and get done with our week. So let's go to today first, and then I will show you the week. But one thing I wanted to note, I did the previous video, which I don't know if you guys saw it on YouTube because it was probably in a different form, but I might have on my first run around, I don't know. The one thing I did not mention is the money we made in March, even after my payroll, after sales tax, and after all my tax payments and everything else, I was able to transfer $3,000 into my savings account. So that's a pretty good dollar amount. That's an average dollar amount that I typically transfer every month. And that was on a down month. That was on only $17,500 for the month of March. So if you think about that, that's $3,000 times 12. That's about $36,000 a year that the company gets to hold on to, or I get to take as a distribution if I want, and sometimes more. Now, the company will cost me more money later on in the year because my wife will be here, and then the company's going to have to pay our home bills, which it can do. Financially, it can do that just fine. But I just wanted to throw that out there that last month we were able to put away $3,000 into savings. After every bill, after all payroll and everything else, we had a pretty good savings, even with a down month. So let's get into the numbers for today and for the week. Let's go look at these numbers. We have 5 total jobs of the day. We've got an average per RO of $514 with a profit margin of 61% with a total sales of $2,571. Now, again, that is including that job outside. I worked on it yesterday and today, but only, a couple hours here and there. But that's the end of the day. That includes that because that job is done. So now let's go look at our week, this week. So we have a total of 21 ROs, about 29 and a half hours presented. Average RO is 285 with a profit margin of 64%. And we finished out the week at just under $6,000. So that's pretty good. Everything's done, and we beat our goal by $1,000. Now we come down here and look at our profits and our costs. Cost was $940 on paper to the technician, and cost was $1,216 in parts. And here's our profit in labor and our profit in parts and our total profit for the week on a profit and loss statement. This is what you would see on the business side. So $38.38 is what the profit was based on the $6,000. Now, obviously, that costs me a different amount, right? You got to figure I have 8,300 in bills per month. So if we divide that by 4, that's approximately $2,000 that it costs me each week to run the company. And that is with payroll. That is with every expense. So you got a lot of guys that are like, oh, you have no overhead. You're mobile. Yeah, kiss my butt. Just because we don't have a building doesn't mean we don't have expenses. I don't call it overhead. I call it expenses. If I don't go to work tomorrow, I still have to pay my all data bill. I still have to pay my truck payment, my insurance. The only thing we don't have to pay is parts. If we don't go to work, or gas. If we don't go to work, there's no gas to spend that day, and there's no parts to pay for because we didn't buy any parts or sell any parts. So all of those expenses, $8,300, I still have to pay all of those. No matter what, there's no there's no way around it. So in reality, that is technically overhead. But a lot of you guys will probably classify overhead as this or that or the other, and you can use whatever scenario you want in your head to justify what you want to call overhead. But to run my company, to have all of the extras that I have, which are way too many, okay? Like I've already told you guys in previous videos, I'll go over my expenses again one day in a separate video, but they're too high. And I agree with that 100%. But that's my choice. Once those things are paid off, we will have even more profit. So anyway, $2,075 is what it cost me to run it this week. On top of the parts, which were $1,216, that's $3,296. So if we minus that off of the $6,000, that's about $2,800 that the company gets to hold on to this week. That's a good number. We had a very, very good week, and the week profit was right along that number. It's about $2,800 outside of all the extra expenses. So it's outside of the monthly expenses and the part, or with parts. I don't know. I'm going in circles here. But you get the gist of it, right? $6,000, that's what we strive for, was $5,000. We beat our goal, and that's all that matters. So that's my week. That's where we ended up, and I think we did a pretty decent job. So again, if you're liking what we're doing, follow along. If you're a mobile service and you're looking for some help, put some comments down below. I'll be glad to answer them on those comments. If I don't get to those comments, stick around because they will come out in a video form. There's a lot of people to answer. There's a lot of comments for me to go in and like and everything else. I have a bunch of them I have to go deal with now. But stay tuned. We've got this weekend, I've got 2 phone calls for Q&As that we're going to record so we can get those out. I have one already pending that needs to go out, and I've got my diagnostic videos that need to go out. So I got a lot of stuff coming. Hopefully I can get it all done. There will be some days where I miss videos, but that's just because if I work way too late or get a little burned out, I might take a day off. So either way, stick with us, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and go follow us on the other platforms. Make sure you follow me on TikTok. I want to try to push that platform as best as I can. So either way, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging around, and we'll see you on the next drive.